welcome back to another edition of Let's Talk. I'm your host, JD. So, this episode... let me get my notes. There we go. So, this episode is going to be a couples relationship. I have this broken down into 4 stages and 4 key things you must know, or need to know. I think you need to know. The 4 stages are pre-married, married honeymoon stage, married middle, and the end. Key things to remember are trust, compromise, honesty, and communication. Now, I'm going to go over the keys and then go over each stages. So, trust. You have to trust each other. The reason why I'm making this video is because I went to, just noticed couples around me and noticed that they seem to struggle because they're lacking in one or more of these areas. I went home and a longtime family friend of mine is going through a difficult time, and yes, so I just want to get this out there to help people. If we can help at least one person, that would be fantastic. So, that being said, you need to trust. My wife and I, before we got married, she used to go out every other Friday with her friend Suan. God rest her soul. They used to go out every other Friday. That was paycheck day. No, 2 things happened. One, I trusted her even with her going out with her friend because I need to trust her friend. But I trusted my wife. I trust my wife. Trusted. Her friend had a husband, had a boyfriend, and was boning my best friend all at the same time. But what most people don't understand is they want to go, oh, you can't talk to that person, or I have a friend on Facebook, can't talk to guys. Can't talk to guys. Get out of here with that. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You don't trust her. The whole thing is about trust. And you only have to trust one person. You don't have to trust everybody else. The second thing would happen is she would have a budget to spend on alcohol because we had stuff to pay. She would come home and she would have money left over. She had money left over because she's an attractive young lady, and guys would buy her drinks. And that didn't bother me because I'm not stupid. Not saying everybody else is stupid. I trust her. I'm also not naive to think that just because we're together doesn't mean nobody else is going to find her attractive. Doesn't mean nobody else is going to want to have her. Doesn't mean nobody else is going to even fall in love with her. That's not how that works. And there is no force field thing to be like, and that's what most couples do is, oh, we're together, nobody hit on them. Like, they should just know better. No. Your significant other should know better. Not the whole world. And I did. I trust her. Most people have problems in that area, and they don't, and they end up trying to contain that person. Well, now you can no longer go out. Are you going out looking like that? Can't do no. And it works on both sides, both men and women. Got to have trust. Compromise. Not every relationship is even 50-50. You have to figure out what is your relationship. Ours is she is more, I'm a giver, she's more of a taker. She helps everybody else out. But because I give to her more than I want her to give to me, we balance each other out like that. That makes sense? Yeah. Because that's just the way I am. So we balance each other out. We also know our compromises on entertainment and food. Like, where are we going to eat this time? Okay, you picked last time, my turn. We also compromise with the money that's left over. Um, we will split it. It will be hers and it will be mine, and then whatever we want to do is up to us. Because we tried it the other way and just have the money, and it was silly to have her think that she had to ask every 5 seconds everything she wanted, and that I had to ask because it was ours, and we had to make sure that money was in the account and it wasn't being overdrawn. So we were just like, why don't we just split it, and whatever you want to do with it, whatever you want to do with it. There compromises in the bedroom too, because I have grown up in a household that doesn't speak that often about sex. It's not a widely known thing. For the longest time, I thought my parents just took a lot of naps. But you have to compromise in that too. You can't just shut that person down just because that is not something you want to try. I'm not saying try everything they want. I'm just saying spice it up. And that's what we do. Because she is more outgoing in that area than I was. Not anymore. I've compromised. I really don't like losing the feeling of control. So, blindfolds, handcuffs, whips. Let's see. Yeah, ties. Being tied. I didn't like any of that stuff at all. Nor did I give it a shot. And then tried it with her, and I like most of that stuff. I realize I don't mind losing control every once in a while. There is a notion, there's another compromise. She owns toys. I used to think with my buddies that meant you weren't, when we were teenagers, that you weren't, in young adults, you weren't man enough if your significant other needs a toy. That is stupid. That's not what that means. Sometimes I'm not here. She went on vacation by herself. She took her toy with her. She's gonna be so pissed I just outed her. That's not the point. The point is, none of that stuff bothers me because I know what we have. Not some plastic vibrating thing is not replacing me. That's silly to even think that way. Nothing replaces human touch. If it did, then I would just be single and masturbate all the fucking time. That is not it. So, compromises must be on everything. Let's see. Compromise, honesty. You have to be honest, even if you do not think that the other person will understand or even like it. You have to be 100% honest. You can't hold stuff in. Going back to that couple I was talking about, they're not honest with each other. They're not honest with themselves. They're not honest with each other. Their marriage is over, and they are not honest. Most people hide who they are sexually, and in other aspects of the relationship because they're not honest. They're always afraid of judgment. Chelsea didn't want to involve any of this stuff into our marriage, any of the toys and all that other stuff, because she knew my upbringing, she knew me. Um, and it took her a while, to be honest, and it worked. You can't just sit on stuff. Um, Honesty. It almost cost me everything. I had an ex-fiance, and I went to boot camp in AIT, and everything fell apart. My sister got married and was pregnant. My friends kind of scattered. I was no longer engaged. Everything changed. And I got back. I met Chelsea. And I gave it a shot. She wasn't in the circle of friends. So I was giving this, after a while of hating everything and the world sucked, wanted to give it a shot. But I wanted to be guarded. So she took the children to her sister's birthday, and I had drill, so I couldn't go. So I was at the house with the guys, and then everybody started to show back up, and I had, and then my ex-fiance showed up, and we're all at the house together, and it just felt like before I'd left. Nothing sexual or anything like that. It was just us hanging out, all of us, a group. And my wife wasn't comfortable, or she wasn't my wife wasn't comfortable with this. Of course she wasn't. So she told me that she couldn't, because everybody was spending the night. She told me that she couldn't stay. I went, this is my house too, so I'll do whatever the hell I want. And I was going to have her stay without saying anything. Thank goodness my sister ratted me out. I couldn't keep doing the "you can't tell me what to do" attitude, the guarded. I couldn't keep my past relationship. I couldn't keep bringing it into this relationship. I had to be honest with her. I should have just been honest with her, but like, this is my house too, and compromise. But I didn't, and I wasn't honest. I am now. I'm honest to the extent that I don't care what anybody thinks about my honesty. I kind of a smartass, because most people don't like the truth, don't like honesty. They say they do, but they really don't. So I find it funny to tell them the truth, but I have never lied to her since then. And all of this boils down to communication. Having communication skills. We are still working on this. I am not a person. I get all in my thoughts, and then I don't have good delivery. I don't mean anything by it. I'm not attacking. I just don't have great delivery, and she hasn't learned to. She is learning, but she hasn't learned to take it not personal. So we're working on communications. It's been fantastic, actually. We've done some compromises on the way we talk, and when we talk to each other, and it's working fantastic. It's getting way better. But that's the whole thing. I go back to that couple, but if they had communication, then it would have known that she was sick of him communicating to other females. And then he would have known that the marriage was getting off track. Now let's go to the 4 stages. Pre-married is dating. This is where most people show them their best selves. Usually it is a lie. Usually your best self is not you at all. When I first got together with Chelsea, I showed her exactly who I was. This is what you get. Because I know people, and they like to pretend to be somebody they're not in order to hook it, and then they think that it's going to last, but then finally realize who they really are. And most of the time, that's where they fail. That usually happens after the honeymoon phase. So, this is the phase where you date and you try out, and you just should be honest. I mean, hiding stuff or not, hiding anything, the truth will eventually come out. So just be upfront. Show the person who you are interested in exactly who you are. This is what you're getting. So, married honeymoon. It's a high. It's fantastic. Don't get that confused with it just being that. Just being adrenaline. Just being new. Try to remember that you can take the honeymoon and stretch it out. Take the excitement and keep doing it. Most people get out of the honeymoon phase and get into a routine of just in the middle. Married in the middle. This is where this comes. And just get into a routine, the stale routine. And then eventually they're like, okay, this is boring. This is not what it was a year ago. This is not what it was 2 years ago. This is not what it was 10 years ago. They're not even trying at this point. I still try as if it was the first day. And everything takes hard work. Everything you want that's worth it is work. So, if you're working for it, it's worth it. And then we got the end. This usually comes with divorce. Maybe you guys have fallen out of love. Maybe there were some problems. Maybe you guys jumped into it too fast. And then there's the other end, which is death. That is my goal. Not that sounded morbid. My goal is to die. No, my goal is to make it that far. So we'll continue to try. But if at any point anything changes, I will use the keys to communicate and be honest. You don't have to look at yourself as a failure if you need to get a divorce. That doesn't mean you failed. Sometimes that is the best thing possible. Chelsea and John got divorced, and that was because they needed to. Everything has worked out so much better since then. Sometimes you need to be the adult. And you need to look at stuff, and you need to go, this isn't working, we've got to try something new. I wish my sister and her husband get a divorce. They're not even together. Don't even bother with it. Most people don't get divorced for a few reasons. One, children. They think that because of the horrible stories that they get divorced and the children will suffer. The second reason is fear of being alone. That people have got to get over. There are millions of people in this world. You are never alone. But you don't need somebody there. You need to find yourself before you find that other person. You put too much stock into the other person, and then it's too much. The communication goes, the honesty goes, the compromise goes, the trust goes. So, me and Chelsea look at this part as in, we want each other. We don't need each other. I can survive without her. I can take care of the children. She can survive without me. She can take care of the children. But we want to be together. I need to breathe air. I need to eat. I need to drink water. So, I've rambled on for enough. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. And that is another episode of Let's Talk. With that being said, much love. JD out.